Chittodoc is a branch of environmentalism that is based entirely on protecting and preserving the earth. It began about 600 years ago in what is modern-day British Columbia, Canada, and includes a small, intimate group of just over 800 people. Though it is a small religion, it has thrived for many years. The founder, Hugh Chittodoc, was a farmer in the 1400s who claimed to have had an interaction with God or Newman. In his book, The Eruditio, simply meaning holy book, he wrote about this interaction. I was in the Great Bear Forest cutting down a tree. The wood was going to be used to make a brand new bench. I was cutting down a great, healthy-looking tree when something caught my attention. A man floating down from the sky. I was shocked. I had never seen anything like it. However, I did not turn and run away from the man, because he really didn't look like a man. It was as though he was glowing. As he walked towards me, he began saying, "You are the chosen one to lead all of the people. Humans were put on Earth to protect it, not destroy it, but here you are cutting down this tree. This must never happen again, or there will be serious consequences. Do what I ask, and I will be happy. Do not do as I ask, and you will deeply regret it." I was so scared, but I knew what I had to do next. I dropped my axe and started on my journey. During his time, he got about 800 people to believe and follow in his newly formed religion, which he called Chittodoc after himself. He wrote down many stories in his book, The Eruditio, which is still followed today. In his book, scriptures are called lections, meaning readings or teachings. The table of contents consists of the creation, foundation, life, afterlife, and moral teachings. This was all written by the founder, who claimed to have gotten information from Newman, although no one knows how. One of the most important stories written was the story of creation, which goes like this. In a time known before any man, only God was able to survive. The creator, Newman, spent years putting together the creation of life into one tiny object. This object is known as the seed. Newman placed the seed in the middle of white space. During a 2-week span, the seed expanded by a large amount each day. Once the universe grew to the size that was intended, he placed 3 other seeds on planet Earth. Humans, plants, and animals were formed. From there, the Earth grew to what it is today. Chittodocs live off the land and live in houses made of sticks and animal skins that are easy to construct and deconstruct as they are constantly on the move. Every 2 weeks, people gather together at the gathering place, which is a large open area surrounded by trees, where they share personal stories. Then the leader reads out a story from the Eruditio. Each person then visits the leader individually so we can tell them their task for the next 2 weeks. These tasks are seen as sacrifices or gifts for Newman. They include anything from building a structure to killing an animal. A sacred gesture is finishing the task. The seed is also sacred. Forms of prayer are gathering together, repeating the creed, and reading stories. 5 important and annual festivals are Sunrise. All people gather together at night, then spend the night climbing a small mountain. Once they reach the top, they watch the sunrise and pray together. Then they walk back down and have a celebration because they believe that this is Newman's way of recognizing what they have done for him. Life with Newman. For 2 weeks every year, people travel to a remote area and live entirely off the land. If you came back strong and in good health, then you were praised for being able to live and be one with Newman. A large celebration was held when the people came back from this journey. New Land. Once a year, the leader and a group of men came together in search of a new space in which the rest of the people will live and gather. This was because the Chittodocs were in search of Newman. Therefore, they traveled all over the world, hoping to find him in different locations. The final days. When people died, they were put in a special place in the forest, until this day, where they were taken out of the forest and family and friends had a time to say goodbye, before they were placed back into the forest in a secret location. This is done so all people get an equal chance to say goodbye. All people are named after an animal. However, this name only comes into play once the person dies. Then, their family goes out and kills that animal. The animal is then burned in their memory. The beginning. The final is a celebration of the day that the religion was founded. This is just to give thanks to the founder and all that he has done for them. Leaders are chosen by all of the eligible men traveling to the original site that Newman came down to the founder. They all gather around the ancient tree and wait until the last person is left standing. It is said that the tree chooses who the leader is. Once they are leader, the person receives all of the knowledge needed to be leader. The person then recites the creed in front of everyone, and the person then officially becomes the leader. The creed states, I believe that the entire world, everything on it, within it, and above it, was created by Newman. I believe that the world belongs to Newman, and we are given the task to protect it and restore it. I believe that I am living untruthfully unless I protect the environment, which protects my neighbor and pays respect to the Creator. I believe that Earth is only a temporary home, so I must keep it in good order for generations to follow. The Chitadocs must live out 5 lifetimes, 1 on Earth and then 4 others on different planets. If a teaching is disobeyed, the Creator will send that person back to Earth to begin the whole cycle of the afterlife again. As Newman is not very forgiving, people work very hard to please him, mostly out of fear, so they will be rewarded with the ultimate goal, which is to live with the Creator. The afterlife is described as the souls of the deceased being transported to another planet, where they continue to carry out the work that the Creator intended. No one knows what these planets look like, however some people believe that they look very similar to Earth, while others believe that they look very different. Once people have completed 5 lifetimes on 5 different planets, they are finally granted the ability to live with the Creator in heaven. That is to say, if the Creator feels that they are worthy of entering into heaven. If Newman feels that the person has not fully lived up to their potential, their soul will be placed in the middle ground between heaven and earth, to be looked down upon by those in heaven. It is seen as a sort of hell. Heaven is the ultimate goal, and being allowed into heaven is what is worked towards. Virtues include care for the earth, including humans, animals, and plants, protection of the earth, unity, which is the idea that all humans were put on earth by Newman, therefore all humans are related, so they must work together to make earth the best that it can possibly be. Obedience is a major virtue, meaning that once people have become part of this religion, they cannot leave. Their service to Newman must continue until the day that they enter heaven. It is believed that goodness, or work that is pleasing to Newman, is rewarded by being able to find food and a new place to worship the earth. Evil is punished by an old tradition which was written in the year 82. The person who is misbehaving is blindfolded and brought out very far from the village. Then the people leading the prisoner or person who has committed a crime takes off their blindfold. If they are able to make it back to the village, then it shows that Newman has forgiven what they have done. Goodness is taught during gatherings and stories that are read to the people. They are religious and inspirational, but are also examples of how people are expected to live. In general, Chitadoc is a very hard religion to live up to. It is said that only the strong-willed people are allowed. However, once you are born into this religion, it is impossible to get out. Even death will not fully allow freedom. However, most of the people are quite happy doing work for Newman. The story of the founder is the only time that Newman was said to come down to earth. The Chitadocs are still looking for a glowing man floating down on earth to bring them back to heaven. Until that day, though, they will continue to work towards the ultimate goal.